104.5 The Team, your home for Albany Great Dane football, among other things. And joining us right now is a guy who's thrown about 752 touchdowns against the Great Danes. Is Kyle Lauletta with us?
Man, I don't know.
Was it like it was
some good games against them though? For
yeah.
Sure.
Well, watching you play against Albany, like I picked you to go to New England and to be the heir apparent in New England. So I'm very happy I was wrong, and that you got to come here to the Giants. What was draft day like for you? What was it like waiting on draft weekend to see where you're going to go?
Yeah, I mean, it was nerve-wracking. Probably the most watching the draft. I'm excited for it. That wasn't fun at all. I mean, you sit through those picks, man. It is brutal. And being a guy who was hoping to get taken on the second day, you just don't know. That's the crazy thing about the draft is, for a lot of things football-wise through the process, you have an idea, but this is one of those things where, man, 9, 10, 11 teams were in the picture and a possibility of taking me. You just got to kind of wait to see what happens. So, everybody talked about the Patriots, but I think they were one of the interested teams, but not more so than any of the others. So I think it just worked out. The Giants picked Saquon, and they saw some value with me still on the board, so I'm glad they took me. I'm happy to be here now.
The CAA almost, I think at times people don't appreciate how good of a conference that is, and you played against that competition. What was it like playing in the CAA, and do you feel like that really prepared you for this next level here?
Absolutely. I think CAA is a great conference. Great football. We at Richmond, we had some battles, and it's a deep conference. It's not, you can't take any games lightly. A lot of the conferences, I think, in the FBS are kind of top heavy or have some weak teams at the bottom. It's not like that, with us. I mean, there were some teams that had off years, but I remember we went up to Rhode Island one year, and Rhode Island, struggled at least when I was there, and they beat us because we weren't on our game. So it's prepared me really well, and I think heading into that Senior Bowl All-Star game, nobody thought I was prepared because of where I came from, but I thought quite the opposite. And just games like playing against Albany and dogfights. I mean, I had 2 overtime games in a row with them. I mean, that's the kind of stuff, and just getting an opportunity to play, and get snaps. I think that's kind of an underrated quality of a quarterback coming out of college is how much has he played, because it's all the same. All football's all the same. Any team, any division you go, it's just how good the competition is. But the CAA is right up there.
Kyle Lauletta with us right now, Giants quarterback. So let's just get right to it. Eli's too old to play, right? That's what the rap is, right? I mean, you're going to be starting week 1, right?
Wheelchair him right out there, right? Where's the crutcher?
Man,
what's he look like?
He's a great dude, man. He's a good person. He's helped me a lot, and he's very genuine. He likes to have a good time, kind of mess around. He's joked around with me a few times. He's got me good a couple times. I don't know if
anything
I can
you
share
say
it
on the
radio.
radio.
One time we went out to dinner, and thought I was going to have to pay for a while, and the bill came out. Oh my God! I thought it was like a fake. It was actually a fake bill, that was like way more than it actually was. But for a while, he had me going thinking that I was paying for it. And he said, "Nah, I'm just kidding." But just simple stuff like
You're
that,
lucky, man. We always say, like, TMZ Sports, that's the cover every year is, like, all these rookies you were paying, like, $25K for a dinner bill.
I'm sure they'll get me at some point. But in this situation, I didn't have to pay. But yeah, I saw that thing, and my God, I just went totally blank. I was looking at like stuff on the bill. We didn't even eat or drink some of the stuff that was on the bill, and I just was numb to it because I saw that number at the bottom of the slip, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
who ordered a Mercedes?
This is like, yeah, I'm like, this is more than my car. Are you kidding me? Yeah,
did he really pay, or did he pass it off to Davis Webb? Actually, you're going to pay. I'm just going to make sure the rookie sees I'm paying.
I think he paid, actually. Well, I know he paid. No, and that just goes to show you what a great guy he is, and just. But he'll get a joke in there wherever he can. So, but he's been awesome. He really has.
Working with some of these running backs and wide receivers, Odell Beckham Jr. Did you just maybe in practice one day think, all right, I'll try to overthrow Odell Beckham Jr. It just doesn't happen like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually pretty cool. I've gotten a chance to throw to Odell multiple times after practice. He's always looking. That's one of the things is Odell's such a hard worker, man, and he loves it, man. He loves just getting extra reps, and hey, he'll grab me after. Hey, yeah, let's throw a little bit. I'm all about it, especially throwing to a guy like that. So, no, he's a tough guy to overthrow. I mean, believe me, he's got elite speed. I mean, he's up there with the fastest guys in the league, I think. So, I just can't wait to see what he does out on the field. I mean, you see him in practice, but it's not live reps. It's different than out there in the game. Some guys just show up on game day and make people miss, and we'll just try to get the ball in his hands because he's going to be a weapon when he has it.
Kyle Lauletta with us right now, 104.5 The Team. So Kyle, if you could write your own script moving forward, how long until you're in a live game?
Well, I don't know. You don't know, and then that's the thing is you have to be ready. And I don't get to pick when it is that I get that opportunity. I'd like to think that I'll get that opportunity at some point. Whether or not this season, somewhere in the near future. I do think Eli's got a good year or two, or he thinks he can play longer than that. He's not going to let you tell him that he can't play more than a couple years. So, he's a great football player, and he's the guy. But God forbid anything happens to him, I'll be prepared to step in, and if my name's called, I'll be ready, and I'll make the most of it.
Before the future hits, let's talk about later this week as you guys take on the New York Jets. Do you know how many reps, how many series, when in the game you're going to go in?
No, that's one of the things I haven't. They don't really tell us because I don't think they know exactly. They kind of want to have a feel for, like the first game. The dream is like, hey, you get a 12-play first drive, and Eli completes every pass, and we score a touchdown, and then we can take him out of the game. But coaches want to see the ones together playing, and just depends the flow of the game and stuff. But I don't know. So hopefully I get some good time and can prove myself and just get the more reps you get. It's just the better you get, and the more prepared you can be for the season. So we'll see. But I'll be ready. I'll be waiting on the sideline, waiting for them to put me in.
Kyle, do you play fantasy football?
I haven't in a while. I used to play every year when I was through grade school and through high school, but I haven't played in a few years. But I would be open to playing.
Stat-wise, when you look out there, like is it Saquon, OBJ? Like who? If you were going to pick one, who's your top guy?
Of those two?
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough.
Well, is there somebody who's better? Because if there is, we're ready.
That's true. What am I saying? My gosh. No, I don't know. I think either of those. Depends, like point per reception. You could even go Saquon because I think Saquon's going to be really good out of the backfield this year. Match up on some linebackers. He's scary in the open field. So I think Saquon's going to have a really good year. But you couldn't go wrong with either of those.
Joe on Twitter wants to draft you as a late-round pick. I don't know if you want people rooting for you or against you in fantasy football. You may have not had to deal with that before as the athlete actually did. They got college fantasy football now, so maybe last year you would have had Albany mean tweets coming towards you about what you did for Richmond.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And the other thing is, like, you talk about fantasy football. Now people are gonna maybe someday play with me in fantasy football. That was like one of the most surreal parts was being in the new Madden game. That was like one of the coolest things ever. Because I played that game every year since I was a little kid. You put the game on, and there I am right on the thing. So that's pretty cool, man.
Is Eli second string or third string when you play? Because obviously you got to put yourself in that part.
That's true. Yeah, but it's funny. It doesn't look like me though. I will say that. I was like, come on, Madden. I thought, I was at the combine and they did like a whole face scan and stuff. I thought my face was gonna be perfectly up there. I'm like, who's that guy? It doesn't look like me one bit. But no, it's all good. It's been a lot of fun.
Man, we appreciate Kyle Lauletta, the former Richmond quarterback. We're glad to not see you on Ford Field anymore, but we're glad to see you here for the Giants. And thanks for making some time.
Thanks a lot, guys. Anytime.
Kyle Lauletta. All right, let me just say it. That dude is a quarterback. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know it's stupid to say that because, oh, really? You looked on the roster. He plays quarterback. Good job, Levack. His demeanor, his ability to navigate the landmines that we were laying out there for him, that guy's a quarterback.
I so badly wanted to just hit Kyle Lauletta to say Davis Webb's a bum. Call him a bum, Kyle. Call him a bum. He wouldn't do that, though. He's a good dude. Lauletta's been impressive, though. Like, there was a throw earlier in practice to go, who was that Lauletta? Throwing it up to Odell Beckham Jr. and other guys. Now, again, him and Davis Webb are doing some goal line reps, so it's either boom or bust. You're either getting in the end zone for a touchdown or you're not, and that's why the drill's set up. But Lauletta's hanging on here. He's no CAA difference or like, oh, there's the FCS guy. He's holding his own out here with the rest of the quarterbacks, for sure.
The one thing I really like about him still is, like, you can tell that it hasn't really kicked in yet that he's an NFL player. You know what I mean? It was like, I get to be a Madden dude. You know what I mean? Like I almost had to pay $40,000 for a meal or whatever. I'm trying to, like, he wouldn't say the number on that receipt, but like his eyes, like as he's reenacting for us, and I know it's radio, so you guys couldn't see this. He's reenacting for us the receipt coming out, and it's got all this stuff on it. He goes, and he's like reliving the pain of that receipt while he looks down, and it's not in front of him right now. It's almost like it can't hurt you anymore. It was really cool that Eli paid that for him, because how many times do you see like they don't pay that for him? They have to go. They make those guys pay that. I mean, it sounds like that bill would have to gone to Barkley, not Lauletta.
He also handled your question about what your future goals are for the NFL really well. Because he's a guy who plays at the CAA level. He's a star quarterback in Richmond, one of the top programs in the country at that level. He's probably been hailed as the best on his team for 5 years now, 6 years now, fighting for a spot. Yeah, at least. And all of a sudden he could have easily had an ego and said, you know what? I should be a starter, or I'm ready for the chance. If somebody goes down, I know I can hang. He could have had a little bit of an ego, and he kind of put that aside and said, no, when my time comes, my time will come. I'll be ready to go.
It was interesting, too, because at first it was like, if something happens, I'll be ready. And it was like, and I'm called. Because, you know what I mean? Because it's Davis Webb is second right now.
Right.
So it's like he's very calculated. He's very smart, but he's also he's very likable. He's got that leadership mentality to him. Like, I think he's like, look, is he ever going to be an NFL star quarterback? I don't know. But am I rooting for him? Hell yes, I am. I mean, like, and that's saying something, because we hated him in Albany for a long time, man.
He was the best player I think Albany had played against where people knew the player's name.
Yeah.
You know, at the CAA level, you might get a defensive end who gets a run and gets a chance with an NFL team or gets drafted. You might get a defensive back. I know Villanova had some top-tier players, but Lauletta, because of his position quarterback, because of what Richmond meant when they played Albany, most people in the capital region, when you followed the team, you knew Kyle Lauletta. And to have him end up being a New York Giant is even more exciting.
Because I was convinced he was going to New England.
Yes, you were.
I was convinced.
He was like your star player because he looked good at the Combine. He looked good in those
Senior Bowl.
Yes, all those things.
Yeah, man. He's cool, though. Like I like that. I like this team. There's the last 2 years when we came here, there was a lot less confidence rolling around this training camp. So between the new regime of Gettleman and Shermer and Betcher and just the people in the office walking around, there's more confidence. This is a team that is being built the way they want it to be built. They're not going to accept excuses, and I think they feel like they're going to shock a lot of people. Not me, because I'm picking them to win the East, but.
Oh, is that official? Is that a Levack prediction?
I can't not.
Now, hang on a second. You picked last year the Philadelphia Eagles to win the NFC East, and not only did they win the NFC East, they won the Super Bowl. And you had that pick, I think, way back in July, and you were talking it up, and it cashed in for you. You're talking about another worst-to-first finish here for the Giants in comparison to the Eagles the season before. That is a big prediction here from you, calling them to win the East.
And the weirdest thing is, like with the Eagles, I could see where maybe I was wrong. Going into that season, I just don't understand why everyone isn't on board. With the offensive line, you added some serious talent to the offensive line. Saquon Barkley out of the backfield. You've got Pat Shermer, who took Case Keenum, your boyfriend, and turned him into an all-world quarterback and got him paid by Denver. And now he's got Eli Manning and Davis Webb, and you know what I mean. Like he's got guys who are more. Eli Manning and Davis Webb are 6'5", 225, somewhere in that range. Case Keenum is 5'2".
No, Case Keenum is better than Davis Webb, but I get your point. Your point is
I don't
that
think Case Keenum is better than Davis Webb. I don't think he's better than. Did you watch Denver play this year so far?
I get it. He had bad preseason games.
I'd say they're about equal right now.
Levack. Case Keenum almost got a team to an NFC title game. Davis Webb.
Pat Shermer got him there.
Okay. If Davis Webb is so good, he couldn't beat Geno Smith out for a spot last year? Okay. Case Keenum's light years better than Davis Webb. But I get your point. Your point is that Pat Shermer
saw McAdoo's hair. You think he makes good choices?
Yeah. You're going to trust Ben McAdoo. He goes, you know what? I got an idea. We want Davis Webb as our quarterback. That alone, he's got some McAdoo stank to him still. I got your point, though. Although you want to take a stab at Case Keenum, your point was that Pat Shermer. Stankadoo. Yeah. McAdoo. That's also a good one. I got your point, though, is Pat Shermer is changing the culture, the offense, what he can do with a team that has this type of weapons on their offense. Like, they didn't have that for the Cleveland Browns. When he was coaching up the Browns, he didn't have the type of system, type of players, type of the organization that he has now with Big Blue.
I don't know if he had a lot of this stuff when he was running the offense in Minnesota. I mean, there's Dalvin Cook gets hurt early. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things happen. If everything goes right for him, this could be a very interesting season. We're live from Giants training camp. Thanks to our good friends at Labatt Blue.